have a listen to my next guest's amazing story, and amazing really understates the story in the face of adversity. 16 years ago, Colette Larson was going through a difficult divorce. She was earning $8 an hour as a secretary. She was about to lose her home and face bankruptcy, and all the while she was coping with 2 of 5 children that suffer from cystic fibrosis and 1 that needed a double lung transplant to survive. She had skyrocketing medical bills, and in spite of all of that, she started her own home-based business, and her goal was to earn enough money to simply pay for the nutritional products that her sick children needed. Well, Colette set a goal to dig herself out of debt, and as the months and years passed, a life beyond, I suspect, even her wildest dreams became a reality. Now, at age, and I'm sure she won't mind me mentioning, at age 57, Colette Larson is a grandmother of 12, and her little home-based business is now generating millions of dollars. It's an amazing success story. And Colette Larson joins me in the studio this morning. She, in fact, has been in town speaking at a Women in Business conference. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Stephen, and thank you so much. What an honor it is to be here in the studio with you this morning.
Well, your story is remarkable, and I thought we might go right back to the beginning to start with, those dark days. You're facing a messy divorce, and 2 of your 5 children are suffering cystic fibrosis. You must have felt that the walls were just caving in on you fast.
Oh, I did. I'd always been told that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but it seemed like it was connected to a train. It seemed like every time I turned around, something else came caving in. But, as I've been telling people, particularly women, as I've traveled around your beautiful country this week, when you hit rock bottom, that is a pretty solid foundation to start to build on. Truthfully, I didn't have a choice. I had to provide for my children. I needed to work from home because, frankly, I couldn't afford to continue working outside my home. I needed someone to provide health care, and I just couldn't afford the child and health care I needed.
But you must have felt at some stages as if you were on your own, and you had to dig yourself out of a big, big hole.
That's right. I did. I felt that I was on my own, but I would look at these 5 children who were saying, "Feed me." And, sometimes you just are forced to do things you don't feel like doing, particularly if you're a mother, if you're a father. We do things sometimes that we don't feel like doing in order to provide for our children.
How desperate did you become? And did you ever get to a stage where you thought to yourself, I'm not going to get out of this. I'm in big, big trouble.
I did reach a point where I thought I was going to have to declare bankruptcy. And my social workers at the hospital that were working with me with my daughters said, if anyone deserves to go on welfare, government help, you do. So at one point I actually went to the welfare office. You had to take a number, you had to stand in line, and I was there with my children, and I waited for probably an hour and a half for my number to come up. And just before it was my turn to go behind that door, I looked around and I said, this isn't me. This isn't the way my parents raised me. I know I can do something.
So what did you do? Packed up the kids and turned around and walked out?
We walked out, we got in the car, I went home, I said, I know that I can come up with something. My brother had been telling me about this incredible scientist who developed these scientifically based products, and he wanted me to try these products, these nutritional products, with my daughters. I didn't really understand that there was a business attached, but we started using the products, had some success with them, and then he said, because he was sending the products to me, and he said, if you would share your passion about these products with a few people, you would make $100 a month. That was my first goal. I tell people to dream big, but
because you're earning $8 an hour at one stage.
That's right. And I did. I shared my passion about these nutritional products with a few friends. A few of them got involved, and 4 weeks later, lo and behold, I got an envelope in the mail. I opened it up. It was a $100 check. And, actually I sat down on the curb, Stephen, and started crying. And now my children say, well, if I'd worked that hard for a month and got $100, I would cry too. But really, I cried because it worked. I shared my passion with a few people. They told a few people about it. And I started earning these checks that were coming weekly. It was amazing.
So at what point do you set your company up?
Well, at that point, I realized I was in business. When the money started coming in, I thought, this is a business. I mean, originally I thought, can I make $100 a month? And then my 5th week, I got another $100 check. And then it jumped to $200. And I thought, wow, this could turn into a career. I ended up going to my boss and talking to him about it. Originally, he wasn't very interested. I was meeting with a bankruptcy attorney, and I met with him and told him about this. I ended up signing them both up into my organization because I was so passionate about it. And then I got this thought in my mind, what if, what if I could start paying off my bills? What if I could start buying groceries without having to put them on my credit card? I ended up losing my home, moving into an apartment, but that's okay. I sold it in lieu of foreclosure, and it took me about 8 years. I was almost
I was
$1 million.
What sort of time frame are we talking here?
I was almost $1 million in debt, so you can imagine it didn't happen overnight for me, and it took me almost 8 years to get completely out of debt. I've been involved with USANA Health Sciences now 16 years, and frankly, I've made millions of dollars. It is, when you were telling, when you were introducing me, there was a part of me that was going, was that really me? But it was, and my belief in this industry, and maybe more importantly, my belief in myself has skyrocketed. Early on, I started saying, I'm going to become a leader in this company. And people started listening to me and getting involved with me. And fortunately, I aligned myself with a company with credibility and with a scientist with credibility. I mean, USANA Health Sciences, I say go into business for yourself, and I did start my own business, but I had this company backing me, which was phenomenal. And honestly, the longer I've been involved, the closer I look at USANA Health Sciences, the better it looks to me.
You're now their top income earner.
Yes. Can you believe that?
No, I just...
It's amazing. It's amazing. I've been so blessed.